What's going on YouTube? My name is ADCArtAttack, his name is Bob, and welcome back to part 2 of the Professional Artist versus the Children's Coloring Book Lilo and Stitch edition. Where's my Stitch? Right, I got him. Perfect. Ugh. So yes, this is part 2 of season 2, episode 4, where we used this coloring book. It was a really fun episode, although the artwork that was presented to us in this coloring book was not the best of quality. However, the images themselves were probably some of the best images we've ever been given in a coloring book, so yeah, that makes sense. But we managed to find ourselves a really cool image of Stitch when he first landed on Earth and created a pretty special piece of artwork that I think you will like, and many of you already did. So thank you. Okay, so I should probably address the elephant in the room, and that being my hand. Yeah, my hand is injured. Now, if you do want to know what's happened here, then jump to the end of the video and I will explain it all there, or just stick around until the end and you'll get a full explanation. But I don't want to do it just yet and take away from the intro of this video, so yeah. So for those of you who are new around here and don't understand what this series is, I take a children's coloring book and attempt to color it in a professional hand to see what we can do with a children's coloring book, because I just want to show that you don't have to be a child to color in a children's coloring book. You can do it at any and all ages, and it is a blast to just pick up a coloring book and color away. So for today's video, I'm going to be using the second coloring book that we purchased, this one, and hopefully creating something really special, because this is a very different coloring book to anything I have ever used, and it is of an extremely high quality. So I'm predicting some really great things with this thing today. So before we get into the video, I have got one question for you right now. Pineapple on pizza. Leave your comment down below. So here is the coloring book that we're going to be working with today, and I don't want to do what I did in the first part, and that was flick through the entire thing. I'm not going to give an overview of this, because if you have seen the first part, which I highly recommend, then you've already seen that and I don't want to bore you. But for those of you who are just tuning in and this is your first part of the video that you've seen, well then let me give you a quick rundown of how awesome this book is. Starting with the cover. It looks amazing. It's French. It is 100% going to give you a headache. And despite what the front cover would have you believe, it only contains one image of Stitch himself. Twice. Just a little FYI here, I cannot see Stitch on this side. I can see him over here, but he is supposed to be on page number 30. See? So this is going to be really difficult to do. But let's go. Alrighty, so today we're going to be trying something new. Now, each one of these episodes, we use an excessive amount of markers. So today, let's use pencils. It's been a while since I've let my pencil skills flex fully, and that's mainly due to the physical effort they require. I'm kinda lazy. So, I'll be starting with a marker base. Don't worry, I'll be explaining soon why pencils only means markers too. So first things first, we gotta figure out what colors we need for this. The color chart provided is a lovely addition. However, I still need to find the colors, and so begins the tedious task of color matching. Oh my god. That marker just exploded on me. Damn it, it's all over my desk. That's a first. That is a first. I can't believe that happened. So, here's the color chart. Now, again, I couldn't match every color, like these. No idea what they are. But I think as we progress and get a clearer image, we'll figure things out. I could look at the front, but that would be cheating. So, all of the colors have been chosen. It is time to start. Okay, unfortunately, I can't seem to remove this. This is going to be a painful video. Now, yes, I am refusing to use the front cover as a reference guide here. I want to experience this. I want to put my faith in the instructions and witness this unfold with you. And besides, this after all is only the base, so I don't have to worry too much about things like shading. But this is confusing. I mean, whose bright idea was it to use the number 4 and the letter A? My eyesight sucks, and I am already confused. Before I even really begin, I'm looking for the numbers. I can't find them. I'm frustrated, I'm anxious, and I don't have the patience for this. Wow, look at this. Why? I swear, whoever created this book hates artists. This goes against everything coloring books mean to me. I'm not relaxed, I'm nervous, I'm overthinking. So, for the nose, we have come to the 2 colors I didn't have in my collection. So I'm just trying to figure out a good blend here. Something that sort of works. And with that, the nose it's actually really looking like Stitch. I mean, I'm not surprised, No, surprised is the word. Now, throughout this video, you may see me switch hands. This isn't to show off, this is due to the hand support I'm wearing and the pain. As for this particular part of the coloring, there is a lot of control and focus required, so I'm struggling. Not only is this hand brace thing I'm wearing catching onto the paper, it's also very, very painful in my wrist, so I am forced to use my left hand sometimes. Okay, so the base is done, and I'll let you judge the progress thus far, as all we've done right now is follow the instructions. But unfortunately, with the graphic beam markers, we did get some bleeding outside of the lines. Fortunately, however, I am about to switch to pencils, but this could have been a big issue with using just markers. Also, yes, it is patchy, the colors are not flat, but that's on me. It's the base, so it's not super important, and also I was trying to get through the stage as quickly and as painful-free as possible. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I hated this. Ah well. Let us move forward because pencils are about to take over. So we've come to the pencil part. Now this is going to be totally unscripted here, and I'm just going to be talking you through my thoughts about this and my opinion and suggestions when using pencils. Now obviously, once again, I just want to express that I am in serious pain, and coloring with pencils does require pressure. You need to apply quite a bit of pressure to get them down on the paper, something I can't physically do right now, so I'm doing my best to get as much coverage as possible, but it's not going to be fantastic, let me just say that. So previously I mentioned that I would explain why we use markers when using pencils, and the reason for that is pencils do not give a full coverage, or at least if you want to save on those pencils, you're not really going to get full coverage. And pencils can be very expensive. So for me personally, I like to use a marker base. It sort of alleviates the stress of trying to get full coverage and also allows for a base tone to show through. And it's great for manipulation. It allows me to get an easier blend and an easier color palette without so much more effort. And today I'm using my Prismacolor pencils, which for all intents and purposes are pretty good pencils. They're quite waxy and they do blend very well with each other. They're very soft to put down and very nice to work with, especially in these cheap-ish paper type coloring books. Which, by the way, this paper is not too bad. This is actually really, really good paper. So I don't want to take anything away from this coloring book because it does have great paper and it is quite a treat to work with. It doesn't have the sort of tooth that you would get with a higher quality paper, say something like sketch paper, but it is still adequate and I'm not having major issues. There are some glare issues from certain viewpoints, but it's not too bad. I actually have no idea what's going on with this hand. Like, I count 5 claws? That doesn't seem right. Four. Don't test me on my Stitch knowledge, I know Stitch. So why would someone opt to use pencils when markers are a lot easier to get more coverage and smoother blends? Well, pencils have a few advantages over markers, one of the biggest ones being that they are a lot more user-friendly. i.e., you can make a lot more mistakes with pencils, and it's a lot easier to forgive those mistakes and actually hide those mistakes within the whole entire piece. I mean, take me for example, right here I cannot get those smooth blends due to my injury. However, you wouldn't really notice it because I am using small tricks. One of those tricks being to use very bright highlights and very dark shadows. And the human eye is very, very easy to fool. You see, from a distance, we just blend our colors. We don't notice the individual specks or notice those little bits that aren't quite covered. From a distance, it looks smooth. It looks pretty good. But hey, one of the most important things to remember here is, although we had a stressful beginning with this piece, it is important to relax when you do these coloring books, and pencils are a great way Pencils are a great way to relax because they don't really require too much focus. Yes, they are a little bit more physically demanding, but they're not too focus intense thing. So slap on some music and enjoy it. Yeah, so there it is, everyone. The Stitch Part 2 is complete. Now, what do you think about this one? Because looking at it as is right here, really like it. Although the blending is not smooth across the board here, I still think that it does look good. And I think the effects that we got are pretty nice considering it's a coloring book. But before we get too excited, let's take a trip through memory lane, starting with where we started. With a confusing mess of stuff, numbers, letters. This is the kind of gift you'd give to someone if you wanted to hurt them. But we followed the instructions given to us and we came up with this, a very flat looking image. Now the colors were not perfectly smooth, but it doesn't matter too much. We followed the instructions and there are the results. But this is where we truly set ourselves apart and we start to take coloring books seriously as a serious tool for anyone looking to improve them skills. Escadouche. I'll tell you what, when you go through it like that, I'm so proud of this. It's not every day I'm proud of my artwork, but this is really nice, and I do like this one. Now, I made some personal creative choices here, such as leaving the background quite flat for the most part, and the reason I did that was to further enhance Stitch himself, as we were going for a somewhat three-dimensional effect with the shading using the pencils here, which I think did work. We added some really nice depth, and we got some nice highlights. If you do ever attempt to do something like this, I highly recommend that you always use a marker base. The marker base will alleviate a lot of that stress with trying to apply smooth pencils, but not only that, you get a natural base to work with and it looks miles better than if you were just using pencils alone. I do hope you enjoyed this piece today. I found it very fun, very enjoyable, but also very stressful at the beginning. It's funny how things can turn around from being one of the most stressful pieces I've ever worked on to actually turning out to be quite an enjoyable process. I guess it really does show that the first steps are the hardest. Oh, and the back is totally ruined. I mean, who decided to print on the back of a coloring book sheet? Why would you do this? For what reason have you done this? Okay, so for some reason, I have this tendency to enjoy punching walls. I don't know why I do it. Sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I just do it because I like to punch walls. I got frustrated, I hit a wall. Probably a very bad idea considering I make my living using my hand. Any other time, this wouldn't have been a problem. However, this time I hit a support beam behind the wall. My hand was extremely swollen. I had to go to the doctors where they removed my ring. And as you can see here, it was a very painful experience because the ring was pretty much stuck to my finger. Fortunately, we had some x-rays done and it turns out I have not broken any of my bones in my hand, but the doctor did an examination of my hand and at the moment the diagnosis we have is that I have blood pooling and water buildup under the hand. Now this is a loose diagnosis as it's not confirmed, but hopefully within 10 to 14 days it will heal up and I'll be fine. I've been told that I have to wear this and I've also been told that I should not do any artwork at all. I should be resting this hand for 2 weeks. However, my hand is how I make my living and I am required to do some artwork, so yeah. However, if you would like to support me, I do have a Patreon. There'll be a link to that down below in the description. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. But I will be making a video with my left hand in the next video. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully within 10 days, my hand will be back to normal and I'll be able to use it fully and it won't hurt because it is in unbearable pain right now. But I have no one to blame but myself. The lesson here is do not hit the wall. No matter how frustrated you get, no matter how angry you get, or if you just do it for pleasure, don't do it. It was a really stupid mistake. But lesson learned.